6 more days. Joining us now, one of the co-authors of the article of impeachment against President Trump, Democratic Congressman Ted Lieu of California. Congressman also will serve as one of the 9 impeachment managers in the upcoming Senate trial. Congressman, good morning. It's good to have you with us. I want to talk about that Senate trial in just a moment, but also want to pick up on a conversation we were having in our last segment. You were one of the signatories of this letter that Mikey Sherrill, the congresswoman from New Jersey, was talking about yesterday, that you saw suspicious groups on the eve of the attack of January 6th being given tours of the Capitol. Suspicious because tours have been shut down, large groups being led around the halls of Congress, perhaps, the accusation goes, performing some kind of reconnaissance on the Capitol. Did you see these suspicious groups?
I personally did not see them, but we do know from various reports that there was a lot of different suspicious activities happening, and no one is above the law, not the president, not the president's attorney, and certainly not any members of Congress. So if any members of Congress are suspected of violating the law, the FBI needs to investigate, and there needs to be a far and wide-ranging investigation.
Is it your understanding, Congressman, that these were fellow members of Congress leading these tours?
That is my understanding, or at least they got these groups the ability to go and have these tours occur.
And do you know which congressmen or women it was?
I do not. But again, we are calling for a far and wide-reaching investigation, which, by the way, also needs to include whether any of these members of Congress help incite an insurrection, which itself is a federal crime and a felony. And again, we need law enforcement to investigate everyone. Members of Congress should not be excluded.
Yeah, that's more than expulsion from Congress. If you're conspiring, that's a criminal act. So, Congressman, let's talk about the trial ahead of you next week. Mitch McConnell has said he will bring the Senate back not before the planned January 19th date, which is next Tuesday. How are you viewing this trial? There's been some debate that Joe Biden may not want to be mired in the legacy of Donald Trump to begin his term in office the following day on January the 20th. What is your strategy heading in?
Let me first say, I previously served on active duty in the U.S. military because I believe America is an exceptional country. Yesterday was a very sad day. We should never have to impeach our president and certainly never have to do it twice. But when the commander-in-chief incites a violent mob that attacks our Capitol and it results in multiple deaths, Congress is left with no other option. That's why there's a bipartisan impeachment of Donald Trump yesterday. Now we're calling on Mitch McConnell to have the trial as soon as possible. And what is the Senate doing that's so important and so urgent right now? Nothing. They're at home. They could have a trial on Friday. They could have it next Monday. So we're calling for Senator McConnell to bring the Senate in so we could have the trial.
Do you anticipate, Congressman, this trial being perhaps speedier than previous trials just because of the fact that Joe Biden would like to turn the corner and not think about Donald Trump and not have that eclipse the beginning of his administration?
So I'm a former prosecutor, and first I want to say is we don't discuss trial strategy in public. But second, the Biden administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. Nothing is going to stop that. And that is why you see a lot of anger and rage out there. And all Donald Trump has to say to calm tensions down is one sentence: the election was not stolen. If he would simply tell that truth, we wouldn't need 20,000 National Guard in D.C. We wouldn't have 50 state capitals now under potential attack. So I'm calling for GOP leaders and Donald Trump to just say that one sentence: the election was not stolen.
And that's a sentence he did not say in that taped statement he put out yesterday. Congressman Jason Johnson is here with us and has a question. Jason?
Congressman, so these are the reports that we've heard so far. We have heard that there may have been members of Congress tweeting about Nancy Pelosi's location during the insurrection. We have reports in the Boston Globe from Ayanna Presley's office that panic buttons were ripped out of her office so that her staff couldn't get access to them. Now we have Congresswoman Mickey Sherrill saying several people saw mysterious tours being brought throughout the building the day before the insurrection. I'm going to ask sort of a simple workplace culture question. How on earth do you go about the business of legislation again when you literally have thieves in the temple? What is being said amongst your caucus now about their mere comfort in going back and doing the business of the American people when they know, or at least they believe right now, that there are people who they're working with on the other side who are trying to have them harmed, killed, or at bare minimum kidnapped?
That is a great point. This is not like we have a dispute over what the proper corporate tax rate is. We're talking about our colleagues who appear to help incite an insurrection of a deadly mob that attacked the Capitol. This mob was trying to assassinate Speaker Pelosi. They were trying to hang Vice President Pence. They were hunting for lawmakers. They killed a uniformed police officer and they injured dozens more. Imagine if they got their hands on any really liberal Democratic member of Congress, what they would have done to that person. And so this is a very difficult time for all of us in America, and particularly the members who were threatened and feel threatened. And we have to have a reckoning. And I don't know what we're going to do with some of these Republican members that help incite this insurrection. But I do know they all need to walk through those damn metal detectors. And if they're not, they're going to be fined significant amounts of money.
Yeah, they do. Congressman Ted Lieu, thank you. And there's the whole added story of lawmakers and members of their staff who have been completely traumatized by what happened to them and had no time since then to do anything but keep working. And Nancy Pelosi, my God, God bless her for what she's doing and how she's keeping going at this point. This has been a trauma to our country, to our democracy, but also to the very people who work in the Capitol, who go to work now, number one, wondering if they're going to get shot by people who won't go through metal detectors, and apparently some members of Congress who want to pack while they're working on the floor. And number two, get coronavirus from these idiots who defy science and won't wear masks. Who are these people? Because they are not patriots. They're not doing their job.